Good evening. Hope you're doing well. So, I want to jump on live here today as normal. Like I come on Wednesday evenings. Unfortunately, it's not such a pleasant topic today, but it has to be said. It has to be said. So, I was reading the news today, and the shocking statistic that 12,000 jobs have been lost in the last 48 hours. That is a crazy amount. I think about the families that are going to have their life changed by what's happening right now. And it really hit hard on a personal level because I was exactly in that position 6 years ago. In February 2014, I, went into work, got called in, and essentially told, we're going to have to let you go. The Home Office has written to us. And I've had a visa application pending with the Home Office, and they've messed the whole thing up. And through their mess, decided that I had lost the right to work, and I was not allowed to work until it was resolved. I ended up having to take them to court to get it all sorted, but that's a story for another day. The other thing as well, because the visa I had before that incident was a no public funds visa, that meant that those same terms had to continue. And so I couldn't fall back on any sort of correct, benefit system, anything like that. And I couldn't just go and get another job because it was a case of you are not allowed to work in this country. I was a single mom. My son was one, completely dependent on me, completely, I was completely responsible for him. That was that was a rough time. That was a difficult time. And I'm not sharing this to get sympathy, but when that came to mind for me today, I was thinking, what is the scale that these people who've lost 12,000 jobs, what are they going to need? I know that one of the things I really had to develop at that time was learning how to prioritize in terms of spending, the skill of zeroing in on what's important, what are the priorities, what are the things that are really needed, and being able to identify that really well and being able to stick to that. Without that skill, things would have gone a lot different. And so now is not the time. Now is not the time. First of all, if you're anyone in that number, first of all, my heart goes out to you. I'm sure you're feeling a lot of emotions right now. And I want to say I have a sense of what that might feel like, and the feeling of what next. I can't believe this is happening. But hopefully you will be in a better position than I was, where it's not a case of you can't work in the country anymore. Hopefully you have the option of either finding something else, or you have access to some sort of government support, either that's furlough or whether that's redundancy or universal credit, anything, that you have something. Now, that something may or may not be equivalent to what you used to make for work, and that's where these new skills come in. You are going to have to learn how to prioritize. We need to get away, and we have all fallen for this at some point, some more than others, some in different categories. So the wanting to give the perception or keep up appearances for something that we're really not, to look a certain way, to fit into status quo, whether that's in the house that we choose to live in, the car we choose to drive, the clothes we choose to wear, things that are being done to give off a certain image that isn't necessarily something that's important to you. We need to stop that. This is not the time to be doing that. This is the time to be, sitting down with ourselves and figuring out what's important to us. When things hit the fan, what is it we actually need? and knowing how to be content with that, so that if needs be, if the opportunity arises tomorrow, we have those skills, we have those foundations, so we're not in this position again. When I think about wealth, when I think about financial freedom, I think of someone who calls their own shots, someone who doesn't owe anyone, who doesn't need someone to tell them things are going to be fine. They've got it, they've got this. And when someone's in a lifestyle where they're trying to keep up appearances, impress people they don't like with things they don't need, that is not the way to get there. And part of that explains another trend that I've been reading a lot lately. A lot of the quote unquote wealthy people, some of them that have gone bankrupt recently. Oh, stuff happens, stuff happens. But that is more likely to happen if the foundations are not there. And by foundations, I mean those basic skills of money management. So if you don't know, I am a budget coach. I coach women, professional women, showing them how to keep hold of more of their money, getting those bases laid for how do we create a spending plan and how do we stick to it? How do we make it one that's right for you, that's personalized, that's going to cover everything that needs to be covered. This is what I coach. This is what I teach. And I have to say a lot of what I gained came from that experience from 6 years ago, where everything was ripped away in a blink of an eye. I had to move out of the house because I simply couldn't afford it. A house that was just for my son and I was a luxury at that point. I had to move into a house share, into the box room that was so tiny, both of us couldn't even sleep in it. But that was that time. And out of that came the skills to be able to be content. To be content with little to nothing, and not in a way of feeling deprived, because that is not what I teach at all. It's not deprivation. It's being empowered to make the choices that are right for you. And that's what I teach. And so I'm going to encourage you, if you've been affected by this, or things are changing anyway, or just plain you feel like, right, I need to get this skill sorted. My job might be fine right now, but I know that I'm not spending as well as I should be, or I know I could be doing better in terms of how I manage my money. Message me, ask me for a call. Let's book a call. Let's see if I can help you. But let's have a chat about it, because the way things are going, not having those skills, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna come bite you, and I don't want that for you. Okay, so that's the little message that I wanted to drop on today. If I can get my words out, I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear what you think. Leave a comment below, or if you're watching this on YouTube, so I think I'm going to put this on YouTube later on. Say hi, subscribe as well, and I will speak to you next week. Take care.